and members of the Lake County Council.
Okay. All in favor, signify by aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion passed. Okay, so we'll wait. Maybe the coaches show up.
Show up. If not, we'll, we said we got a player here? Or parents of the players? No?
Okay.
Yeah, they were supposed to. If not, I can take it there tomorrow or we're on Copenhagen.
All right,
There should be someone there.
Thank you. Yes.
The bad kids that are in summer school probably there.
That's smart kids. You want to do whatever. Okay, next, Councilman Ham.
Yes. Thank you. Excuse me, man. Get it? And that's several. No surprise, Munster, speak and debate team. Could I have,
It's recently.
I'd like to make a motion for approval of resolution 25-35.
Wait a second. Motion's been made and second.
Thank you. For the record, yes. Addison to step forward. I need a microphone here. Hi, Addison.
Oh.
Yeah. And you did so well. I'd like for you to bring this into the minutes. Right there.
Resolution honoring Addison Ellis, the Munster High School Speech and Debate Team 2025 ISSDA State Champion of Declamation. Whereas students and scholars from Lake County, Indiana have consistently excelled in all academic matters throughout the state and nation, and whereas Lake County has generously set forth its serious view to compete in academic contests in the state, the nation, and the world. And whereas Lake County is justly proud of its sons and daughters who have so willingly taken upon themselves the hardships and disciplines, both physical and mental, which successful participation in academic contests demands. And whereas Addison Ellis, a member of the Munster High School Speech and Debate Team, captured the ISSDA State Championship in Declamation on March 8, 2025 at Fishers High School in Fishers, Indiana. Now, therefore, let it be resolved that the Lake County Council and all citizens of Lake County extend congratulations and praise to Addison Ellis of the Munster Speech and Debate Team for winning the 2025 ISSDA State Championship in Declamation. That a copy of this resolution be spread on the official records of the Lake County Council and an official copy be delivered to Addison Ellis. Duly adopted by the Lake County Council of its 8th day of July.
Higher.
I'm so proud. I'm from Hammond.
Yes.
So it's probably not far from each other, and I'm really proud to see you here every year. I should say the last speaking today. I can't talk where he got the coach. There he is. And I told him the same. So I don't know if my colleagues have anything to.
Dave, I think with how well spoken she is, you found your replacement.
Awesome. So much.
Thank you.
Just to note that Kamala Harris was a debater and she was vice president, so.
Good job.
Thank you. Good job. Proud of you.
Okay, and move for approval of a resolution.
We did.
35-36.
We got to vote on that.
On that.
Okay.
All in favor, signify by aye.
You get to vote.
Motion passes.
Thank you. Move for approval of resolution 25-36.
Second.
Thank you.
Motion's been made and seconded.
For the record, I'd like for Ava. Yes.
Eva, turn to me.
You know what you're going to do now, right?
I hope so.
You are, Ava.
Thank you.
There's a microphone. It opened up.
All right. Resolution honoring Ava Pfefferman of the Munster High School Speech and Debate Team, 2025 ISSDA State Champion in Dramatic Interpretation and Prose Interpretation. Whereas students and scholars from Lake County, Indiana have consistently excelled in all academic matters throughout the state and nation, and whereas Lake County has generously set forth its spirited youth to compete in academic contests in the state, the nation, and the world. And whereas Lake County is justly proud of its sons and daughters who have so willingly taken upon themselves the hardships and disciplines, both physical and mental, which successful participation in academic contests demands. And whereas Ava Pfefferman, a member of the Munster High School Speech and Debate Team, captured the ISSDA State Championship in Dramatic Interpretation and Prose Interpretation on March 8th, 2025 at Fishers High School in Fishers, Indiana, where in Dramatic Interpretation for 3 consecutive years, the first student to accomplish this feat and set a team state record by capturing her 5th individual state title. Now, therefore, let it be resolved that the Lake County Council and all citizens of Lake County extend congratulations and praise to Ava Pfefferman of the Munster Speech and Debate Team for winning the 2025 ISSDA State Championship in Dramatic Interpretation and Prose Interpretation. That a copy of this resolution be spread on the official records of the Lake County Council and an official copy delivered to Ava Pfefferman, duly adopted by the Lake County Council on this day, on this 8th day of July, 2025.
Very good.
Thank you.
Understand how you all won. You're all excellent.
Oh, thank you.
Extremely proud of you and my colleagues, everybody assigned it, and we're gonna vote on it, and I'm willing to bet you.
Thank you very much. Congratulations.
Thank you.
When else, all those in favor, aye. Passed. Let the record show, independence.
Coach, come here with information.
I was gonna make you read it.
Why not?
Mention I spoke prior to this. It's all good. I think that you need a little credit for all the hard work you put in, so I'd just like for you to be up here with us, okay? I move for approval of resolution 25-37.
Second.
For the record, may I please have, where? They weren't. Oh.
The resolution honoring thereupon the Munster High School Speech and Debate Team 2025 is the state champion in international extemporaneous speaking, whereas students and scholars from Lake County, Indiana have consistently excelled in all academic matters throughout the state and nation, and whereas Lake County will generously set forth a spirited youth to compete in academic contests in the state, the nation, and the world, whereas Lake County is justly proud of its sons and daughters who have so willingly taken upon themselves the hardships and disciplines, both physical and mental, which successful participation in academic contests demands, and whereas Claire Hahn, a member of the Munster High School Speech and Debate Team, captured the ISDA State Championship in International Extemporaneous Speaking on March 8, 2025, at Fishers High School in Fishers, Indiana. Now, therefore, let it be resolved that the Lake County Council and all citizens of Lake County extend congratulations and praise to Claire Hahn of the Munster Speech and Debate Team for winning the 2025 ISDA State Championship in International Extemporaneous Speaking. That a copy of this resolution be spread in the official records of the Lake County Council, and an official copy be delivered to Claire Hahn, duly adopted by the Lake County Council this 8th day of July, 2025.
Very well. Motion in the second, all in favor? This motion passes. Yep, good job.
Well, I'll say this coach is going to stay here. You want to vote, Madam President?
You just did.
Oh, great. Okay.
You didn't vote in favor of that?
Now I remember. Madam Chair, I move for appropriation. Here we go. Approval of the resolution 25-38. Second.
Motion made and seconded.
For the record. Coach? Yes, sir.
Okay. Resolution honoring routine success of the Monster High School speech and debate team, 2025 Eastern State Champion in radio broadcasting. Whereas students and scholars from Lake County, Indiana have consistently excelled in all academic matters throughout the state and nation, whereas Lake County was generously sent forth its spirited youth to complete academic contests in this state, the nation, and the world, and whereas Lake County is justly proud of its sons and daughters who have so willingly taken upon themselves the hardships and disciplines, both physical and mental, which successful participation in academic contests demands, and whereas Flotini Tsara and Monster High School speech and debate team captured the instant state championship in radio broadcasting on 2025 at Fishers High School in Fishers, Indiana. Now, let's be resolved. The Lake County Council and citizens of Lake County extend congratulations and praise to Flotini Tsara and the Monster speech and debate team for winning the 2025 INSTA State Championship in radio broadcasting. The copy of this resolution is spread on the official records of the Lake County Council, and the official copy be delivered to Flotini Tsara. Duly adopted by the Lake County Council this 8th day of July, 2025.
Very good.
Very good.
Very good.
All in favor, signify by aye. Aye. Opposed, motion passes 7-0. Thank you. Congratulations.
Madam Chair, under number 4, it's the first one. Okay, I want to give this to you. Okay. You and I discussed this in the hallway. Okay. It's a certificate of achievement. This is on a national level. And I told you I would go through that name. It's really famous.
Yeah, I want to love.
Yeah, and okay.
In recognition of your outstanding achievement as a member of the Master Speech and Debate team at the National Speech and Debate Championship, earning top rankings in the final round of dramatic interpretation and placing third overall in the nation.
And this was held in Memorial,
See her right there.
Is that what that's?
awarded by us. So, okay, I want to thank you. And it says that these would be given to these individuals. And I'm sure that you'll get those and we're not even.
Yes.
But I really appreciate the recognition. These students work extremely diligently, and it's just well appreciated for the recognition.
We
Well deserved. Well deserved. I'll see you next year. And what you're just seeing is a lesson in how to delegate.
Yeah. Scott Moore and I had a good discussion.
All right, moving on to the Sid Gardner Scholarship Award.
Sierra?
Over here. This is an acknowledgement for, hold over here. Acknowledgement for Steve Barrett, receiving the Sid Gardner Scholarship. Yeah, I'm proud to present this to you on behalf of the county council. Maybe tell us a little bit about what you're in school for, where you're in school at.
I am a senior at IUN. I started out in nursing. I'm currently graduating now with a major in criminal justice and a minor in sociology. I didn't find my niche in nursing, and then I just decided to try out criminal justice. I'm currently working at Lake County Corrections across the street, and I just found my calling. I enjoy going into work every day, helping the residents we call them there. It's just a work program to get them from the Lake County Jail out, and they do work release. They go out to work, they return to us, and they finish their sentencing. So I just found my calling in criminal justice.
Thank you very much. Thanks for your service. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Charlie, since you're here, do you want this next one?
You go right ahead.
Okay. This is a congratulations to Lake County Emergency Management for earning the official designation as a storm-ready county by the National Weather Service. So, all. Dean.
So with me today, you guys, are Cody Van Drunen. Cody is our
Let me stand behind you guys.
storm ambassador, and he's our support services technician at the county, and also our drone pilot, because if I don't say that, he gets mad. And then we have one coordination meteorologist from the Chicago National Weather Service Office, Mike Bldg.
Well, we're going to goes into earning this sort of recognition.
Sure. So, first of all, a little bit about the Chicago Weather Service Office. We serve 22 counties, 18 in Northwest, Northeast Illinois, 5 in Northwest Indiana, about 10.5 million people in that area. And one of our functions is to work closely with emergency management, other government entities, public safety officials to provide them what we call decision support service for anything weather related. And that includes not just forecast information, but planning, preparedness, and exercise activities. And the Storm Ready program is a national program that recognizes the efforts for counties, communities, other agencies to put planning and exercise and training and community preparedness at the forefront as it comes to weather-related events and situations. So the program involves an application process and all coding that works quite extensively on their application for some time to make sure all pieces were in place. And after that application is submitted, we have a review from not just our office, but state level emergency management officials to go through, look at the plans, discuss the application, and ultimately make a final approval. So we're able to recognize Lake County Emergency Management for doing the work to recognize the entire county as storm ready. It's an ongoing recognition, so it's not a one and done kind of thing. Every 4 years, there's a renewal process. So they're going to be tracking what they do in terms of remediality. They're going to keep their plans up to date. They're going to be exercises on a regular schedule and other elements in terms of maintaining a operations center, having an emergency operations center, and so forth. And we're going to come back and review in about 4 years, make sure the recognition continues. So we're really fortunate, great partners like Paul and Cody and Director Walker. I see these guys actually probably just about monthly, so and we're fortunate to have great partners and we meet with on a regular basis.
So who up here is to blame when it's a 6-inch snow forecast when we get 2?
Thanks. Yeah. The other 100% guarantee is we're not going to be 100% right.
Yeah.
These guys are going to be and they're going to be making sure that the county is ready for those situations, whether the forecast is perfectly on track or.
Yeah, we appreciate our team here, the work that you do. So thank you very much. It's nice to see you recognized.
And we have just a quick token of recognition as well. Just a certificate recognizing Lake County is becoming storm ready. And usually more folks' favorite is a actual road sign that they say, wow, you're going right over the piece here. There we go. Yeah.
Can you turn it around so we can see over here? Oh, yeah, nice.
So congratulations, Paul, Cody, Madam Chairman.
Well, thank you for doing what you do, and in the end, it's keeping our citizens safe, and so thank
And
you.
that's the goal.
Yes, thank you.
Job well done, gentlemen. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Hey, at this time, yes, you're all welcome to exit the meeting. Thank you for your attendance.
We should in those resolutions address the parents as we thank the coaches and teachers. We have to thank the parents for be added in there because without them running them to and from practices every day,
And
it's the parents that lose over the more as well.
he's included in the photos, asking the parents to come up. Oh, Lord, keep that in mind. Okay, Lake County Auditor,
Yeah, Madam Chair.
Councilman Ham.
I move for approval of the appropriation of the County General Fund, General 1. 63150 consulting fees, 100,000, and 63830 matching funds, 80,500.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Discussion.
If there is, Dan's here to help.
No.
Cool.
Roll call, please.
Ham,
Yes.
Brewer,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Lindenmuller,
Yes.
Bilski.
Yes.
Niemeyer,
Yes.
Sid.
Yes, motion passes 7-1.
Madam Chair, I move for appropriation Commissioner Peck's certificate sale fund 1385 for 63190 other professional services in the amount of $86,500.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Discussion. Roll call, please.
Brewer,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Linda
Yes.
Bilski,
Yes.
Neemeyer.
Yes.
Ham.
Yeah.
Sid.
Yes, motion passes 7-0.
Okay, Dan, thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you. Superior Court for,
Madam Chair,
Ham.
I move for approval of the transfer in the general fund, 62110 office supplies, $2,115.08 to 64410 furniture and fixtures in the same amount.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Discussion. All in favor signify by aye. Aye opposed. Motion passes 7-0.
That carry the grant for saying. I move for approval and grant application, grant approval from, in regard to the Grant Oversight Committee. It's for problem solving courts. 2026, it's a new grant application.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Discussion. All in favor signify by aye. Opposed. Motion passes 7-0. Councilman Ham.
Yep. Tim? I moved in Department 40, I moved to create new line items for Lake County Juvenile Center's High Risk Outreach Program Grant Fund. 9130, 61290 supplemental pay, 61320 FICA deduction, 61330 PERF deduction, 62410 other supplies, 63195 contractual services, and 63995 other services and charges.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Discussion.
Discussion, Madam Chair.
Yes.
Supplemental pay, what's the position that's going to?
So that's the position that the grant allowed for us to have, like, a grant assistant to help out with the administrating their grants. So if one of the employees that's going to work off hours to help oversee the grants or paperwork for the grant.
Okay.
This is Kevin Alphins, he's the chief probation officer, so I thought those kind of questions, yeah.
I get it.
You thought of go between.
I did.
Well done.
Just point out, and I think Tim's fully aware, if the grant goes away, so does that supplemental, and the rest of the line, of course. But, okay,
How long have we had this, been receiving this grant?
This particular grant,
It's been quite a while.
well, this is the first year that we're doing the high risk grant.
Okay.
Particular grant line, we used to do it through the JDAI grant. They put out some new grants, juvenile justice, like 4 different categories. So we switched this particular grant that we do for kids with gun charges.
Oh, this is that one. This is, okay.
We do a 10-week curriculum, take them
Right, I recall that now.
A lot of stuff for kids with gun charges.
Okay.
So that's this particular grant, and this is the first year that we're doing it under the new state grants.
That's right.
Thank you. Okay. Any other discussion? All in favor, signify by aye. Roll call, please. This is
That's right.
grading line items.
Brown,
yes.
Linda
Yes.
Bilski,
Yes.
Neemeyer.
Yes.
Ham.
Yeah.
Brewer.
Yes.
Sid.
Yes, motion passes 7-0.
We're the same fund I move for approval of the appropriation for the Juvenile Center's High Risk Outreach Program Grant Fund 9130. 61290 supplemental, $2,250. 61320 FICA deduction, $172.12. 61330 PERF deduction, $319. 62410 other supplies, $7,000. 63195 contractual services, $13,200. And 63995 other services and charges, $2,300 for total appropriation, $25,241.62.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Discussion. Roll call, please.
Linda
Yes.
Bilski.
Yes.
Neemeyer.
Yes.
Ham.
Yes.
Brewer.
Yes.
Brown.
Yes.
Sid.
Yes, motion passes 7-0.
Madam Chair, I move to create new line items in a different fund. It's Juvenile Alternatives Initiative Grant Fund 9370. 62410 other supplies, 63195 contractual services, 63232 travel meals, 63233 travel lodging, 63234 travel transportation and other, 63235 travel mileage, 63920 food and lodging, and 63995 other services and charges.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Discussion? Roll call, please.
Bldg,
Yes.
Neemeyer.
Yes.
Ham,
Yes.
Brewer,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Linda
Yes.
Sia,
Yes, motion passes 7-0.
For the appropriation for the above, Lake County Juvenile Alternatives Initiative Grant Fund 9370, and move for approval of 62410 other supplies, $3,390, 63195 contractual services, $38,500, 63232 travel meals, $200, 63233 travel lodging, $1,200, 63234 travel transportation and other, $120, 63235 travel mileage, $270, 63920 food and lodging, $7,110, and 63995 other services and charges, $14,560, for a total of $65,350.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Discussion? Roll call, please.
Neemeyer,
Yes.
Ham,
Yeah.
Brewer,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Linda
Yes.
Bldg,
Yes.
Sia.
Yes, motion passes
Madam Chair,
7-0.
I might just ask a
Yes.
couple of clarifications on that. I'm sorry I didn't jump in during discussion. Contractual services, food, lodging, other services and charges. What does that go for?
So the contractual services are, this is our normal JDAI grant we've done for the last decade. We do a lot of different things with the kids through the juvenile center. We do a program with Dr. Miller, the psychologist. We do a self-empowerment class with tutorials. We're going to do a parenting class. We're going to do some more training in the juvenile center with some of the kids through a program called Voices. For the love of the arts, LifeWorks will come in and work with the kids at the juvenile center. We'll also do some stuff with our flower farm out back. So some of the contractual stuff will be for those people that come in and do stuff with our kids.
Okay.
The travel and lodging is for stuff that we do through the JDAI grant. We're required to go downstate for some meetings, some coordinating meetings, and they want us to pay for that through the grant. And that's for the lodging. The travel stuff is, we have to do quarterly meetings. It's not much in those line items because we try to utilize the county vehicles for that. But when we go on to do the actual trainings at the hotels, it just costs a lot more because they require 3 or 4 people to go.
Okay. Thank you.
So,
Thank you, Madam Chair.
You're welcome. Let me ask this. Has this initiative changed who is placed in detention? Because that was the goal from, I recall, from the beginning.
yeah, the overall goal, you're right, it's to change the population in the juvenile center, is also to reduce the population in the juvenile center. We've done an awesome job on reducing the population. I've been there now 30 years. I used to be a detention officer. We used to average 120 kids every day in the juvenile center. Now we average, I believe, in the mid-30s. We still have an issue with, minority representation in the juvenile center. We do a lot of training. In this particular grant, we have some training with police quarterly that we're going to do to just educate on some of the charges that come in through juvenile center that we need to break through the juvenile center. So it's not where we like it to be. Just being honest and transparent. But we're still working on it every day.
Okay, so nothing's changed in the courts as well that we've seen in who gets detention and who gets released. So has it changed?
It's changed because we don't have as many kids. It's just a percentage of the population. There's a minority percentage
it's still not down where we like it to be.
Okay, but and else available is that minorities seem to be detained, placed in detention and at a higher rate. Okay, and that's still the issue. Okay, thank you. Okay, we already voted on that. Next, Councilman Kim.
I move for approval of an appropriation in Lake County Juvenile Life Work Discovery Storytelling Program. It's Fund 9394. It is for 63195 contractual services in the amount of $14,550.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Discussion. Roll call, please.
Ham,
Yes.
Brewer,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Linda
Yes.
Steve,
Yes.
Niemeyer.
Yes.
Sid.
Yes, motion passes 7-0.
Funding programs like that,
Yeah.
on NPR.
I just want to point out, Tim, if you're done, oh, I'm sorry, you got juvenile center, I'm not, but I appreciate all the grants you get. I really do. That takes the burden off of us.
Yeah.
I can't stress that enough. However, remember, if the grants go away, we'll go and wait with it now, okay?
Yeah.
All right, thanks, man.
Unless you can find it within your budget. I mean,
Very good.
yeah. And we appreciate everything you guys do over there. Just, I remember this was, that one JDI grant was something that I wanted to see change, so. All right, Juvenile Detention Center, Councilman Brown, you want to?
Yes. I move for the creation of a new line item for the Lake County Community Corrections Juvenile Detention Center grant. Line 91190 part-time, line 61320 FICA, 63715 equipment lease, 63920 food and lodging, and 63995 other services. I so move.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Discussion. Roll call, please.
Brewer,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Linda
Yes.
Bilski,
Yes.
Niemeyer.
Yes.
Ham,
Yes.
Sid.
Yes, motion passes 7-0.
Madam President, I move for the appropriation for the above item. Lake County Community Corrections Juvenile Detention Grant Fund 9390. Line 61190 part-time, 56,160. 61320 FICA deduction, $4,679. 63715 equipment lease, 41,950. 63920 food and lodging, $430. And 63995 other services and charges, $10,500. So moved.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Discussion. Roll call, please.
Brown,
Yes.
Linda
Yes.
Bilski,
Yes.
Niemeyer.
Yes.
Ham,
Yes.
Brewer,
Yes.
Sid.
Yes, motion passes 7-0.
I move for the creation of an ordinance establishing the Lake County Juvenile Detention Centers 2025 through 2027 Juvenile Behavior Health Competitive Grant Pilot Program Fund. Wow. A non-reverting fund.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Discussion. Roll call, please.
Linda Mulder,
Yes.
Bilski,
Yes.
Neemeyer,
Yes.
Ham,
Yes.
Brewer,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Sid,
Yes, motion passes 7-0.
Suspend.
I move for suspension.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded for the suspension of the rules. Roll call, please.
Bilski,
Yes.
Neemeyer,
Yes.
Ham,
Yes.
Brewer,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Linda Mulder,
Yes.
Sid,
Yes, motion passes 7-0. Is there approval on second reading?
I move for approval on second reading.
Second.
Motion's been made and second for approval on second reading. Discussion, roll call, please.
Neemeyer,
Yes.
Ham,
Yes.
Brewer,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Linda Mulder,
Yes.
Bilski,
Yes.
Sid,
Yes, motion passes 7-0. All right, Councilman Ham, your turn again. Oh, no, that's withdrawn, okay.
Yeah, that was withdrawn.
Yes.
That's all right, Tim.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Thank you so
Right,
much.
thank you, thank you.
Thank you.
Elections and registration. Councilman Lindemolen.
Madam President, move for approval of a resolution permitting the Lake County Board of Elections and Registration to pay an outstanding 2019 invoice for debt from the 2025 budget.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Discussion? Roll call, please.
Ham,
Yes.
Brewer,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Linda Mulder,
Yes.
Bilski,
Yes.
Neemeyer,
Yes.
Sid,
Yes, motion passes 7-0. All right, property of extension.
Madam President, I move to approve a transfer in the County General Fund 1001 from 63710 equipment rental $1,340 to 62110 office supplies $1,340.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Discussion, all in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Aye opposed, motion passes 7-0.
Thank you.
Veteran Services, ordinance on second reading.
Before I do that, if I could ask a question, do we put in there that 2-year?
Yes.
Okay.
It's, the language now indicates that any interested party may file a claim with the Lake County Board of Commissioners for a burial allowance and or an allowance for a grave marker for a deceased veteran or a veteran of the Armed Forces of the United States who was at the time of his or her death a resident of Lake County. And
Within 2 years of the death or burial. We can add it verb.
yeah, if you would add, Councilman, that claim needs to be filed
Is it
within 2 years of the death.
of the death
Yeah, there should be stated 2 years,
of the
or
burial?
24 months. Or are we just gonna go with the 2 years from the date of filing? Just
Yeah.
need to be more specific.
I think 2 years is clear.
2 years from the date of passing.
And we'll get that language in there about the 2 years.
Benefit to-
So are we still doing a second reading on that with the amendment?
Yeah, we'll get the amendment.
Madam President, move to approve the ordinance on second reading. And this is ordinance amending ordinance number 1209C, the ordinance establishing payment for veterans' grave markers. And I make this motion with the amendment that there will be 2 years. They have 2 years to file from the time of passing.
Second that motion, including the amendment.
Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Brewer,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Linda Mulder,
Yes.
Bilski,
Yes.
Neemeyer,
Yes.
Ham,
Yes.
Sid,
Yes, motion passes 7-0. All right. Planning Commission,
Madam President, move to approve ordinance number 2588, David Vanderzee, owner petitioner, 6/18/2025, A1 to RR. They have received a favorable recommendation with a vote of 9-0.
Second.
motion's been made and seconded. Discussion? Roll call, please.
Brown,
Yes.
Linda Mulder,
Yes.
Bilski,
Yes.
Neemeyer,
Yes.
Ham,
Yes.
Brewer,
Yes.
Sid,
Yes, motion passes 7-0.
Madam President, I also move to approve ordinance number 2589, Dion and Charity Viola, owners, Dion Viola petitioner, A1 to R1, favorable recommendation, 9-0.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Discussion? Roll call, please.
Linda Mulder,
Yes.
Bldg,
Yes.
Neemeyer,
Yes.
Ham,
Yes.
Brewer,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Sid,
Yes, motion passes. Okay. Lake County Sheriff,
Madam President, I move for the grant applications and grant approvals. One, safe cardio over cannabis, a new grant application. We're gonna do them individually or collectively.
So we can let it do it.
yeah,
I so move
okay.
for
Is there a
the.
second?
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Discussion? All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes 7-0.
I move for the adoption of a safe Lake County Sheriff Department Narcan and Essentials bag, a new grant application.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Discussion? All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion has it 7-0.
Move for the adoption of a safe violence prevention program grant for the Lake County Safer Schools.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Discussion? All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes 7-0. Thank you. All right. Prosecutor. Councilman Linda Mulder.
Madam President, move for an appropriation from the Check Deception Collection Fee Fund 7279, line 64440, motor vehicles in the amount of $3,529.09.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Discussion? Roll call, please.
Bldg,
Yes.
Neemeyer,
Yes.
Ham,
Yes.
Brewer,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Linda Mulder,
Yes.
Sid,
Yes, motion passes 7-0.
Thank you.
Thank you. Lake County Commissioners.
Madam President, Lake County Commissioner, revised 144, County General Fund 1001. Information System Technical Lead, present 0, proposed $120,000.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Discussion?
Discussion, Madam Chair.
Yes.
When will this position be posted, and has the job description been created yet?
Job description has been created. I can provide another copy if you would like. As far as posting, we were talking maybe before the end of the year, Scott.
Yeah, after it's created, it can be posted.
Yeah, so
And when will that be posted?
that's through the HR.
So is it online? Is it?
Yes.
Yeah, it's on.
Yeah, online.
Okay.
Yep. Yep.
Indeed.
Sure.
Good questions.
I try to ask decent questions. Sometimes they're not so good, but.
Yeah, the job description is in our packet.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, any further questions? Discussion? Roll call, please.
Neemeyer,
Yes.
Ham,
Yes.
Brewer,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Linda Mulder,
Yes.
Bldg,
Yes.
Sid,
Yes, motion passes 7-0.
Transfer of government admission tax fund 1196 from 64500 construction and reconstruction 150,000 to 63995 other services and charges $150,000.
Second.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Discussion? All in favor signify by aye. Aye, opposed? Motion passes 7-0.
Resolution to approve the transfer of $287,500 from city fund number 4012 to Lake Debt Services 2025 SRF bond, fund number 4359.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Discussion. Roll call, please.
Ham,
Yes.
Brewer,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Linda
Yes.
Bldg,
Yes.
Neemeyer,
Yes.
Sid,
Yes, motion passes 7-0.
A joint interlocal cooperation agreement between the cities of Lake Station, Indiana and Lake County, Indiana for improvement costs which were incurred by the city of Lake, the city of paving improvement project in Lake County, Indiana.
Second.
No.
Yeah.
Was it seconded?
Yes.
Motion's been made and seconded. Discussion. Roll call, please.
Brewer,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Linda
Yes.
Bldg,
Yes.
Neemeyer,
Yes.
Ham,
Yes.
Sid,
Yes, motion passes 7-0.
Joint interlocal cooperation agreement between the South Shore Convention and Visitors Authority, SSCVA, and Lake County, Indiana, for the Gary Air Show, located in Lake County, Indiana.
Motion's been made and seconded. Discussion. Roll call, please.
Brown,
Yes.
Linda
Yes.
Bldg,
Yes.
Neemeyer,
Yes.
Ham,
Yes.
Brewer,
Yes.
Sid,
Yes, motion passes 7-0.
Thanks, Ted.
Okay, citizens appointment. Councilman Ham, Library Board.
Are you all?
Well, I'm gonna open up nominations for the Library Board.
But I would nominate, Council Lady Wendy Miss.
She's actually clerk treasurer of Munster.
Correct.
Yep.
Okay, are there any other nominations? Hearing none, I hereby declare Wendy Mess as the appointee to the Library Board. And so you'll provide her address and that to Carol or for the record, so she can send her a letter of appointment.
No problem.
And then there's a form that needs to be completed as well. All right, okay, Lake County Public Safety Communications Commission, I currently sit and willing to stay on. But Larry is my proxy, he needs to be part of the motion.
Madam Chair, if you open nomination.
I'll open up, I did that, I opened up nominations for Lake County Safety Community.
I'd nominate, Christine Said with Larry Blanchard as proxy.
Second.
Okay, are there any other nominations?
So now it says.
Hearing none, I hereby declare Christine Sid and Larry Blanchard as proxy to the Lake County Public Safety Commissions. Okay, anybody, I know Councilman Neemeyer, you have, you like the floor?
Yes, if I could have just a little bit of time, I don't want to drag this meeting out. It's been pretty quick so far. So a couple of meetings ago, I made a statement about Senate Enrolled Act 1. I stand by that statement, of course. I think that the blaming of local officials is the wrong thing to do, but I put together a statement that is being circulated in the press as well. But in working with Scott, meeting with a Ways and Means Committee member, Hal Slager, speaking with Tax and Fiscal Senator, Ranking Member Rick Neemeyer and Dan Burnell, this thing is not going to go right. So we have to come up with a plan and a roadmap over the next couple of years for implementation of all the different parts of it and funding our government the right way. So I put together a statement and an outline. And again, Scott and I have worked together on these things to make sure that there are things that we can do feasibly. So the key provisions for SCA 1 for Lake County government's full implementation is the 2028 budget year, but 2026, next year, is a pivotal year where we have to have a lot of fundamentals in place, because once
the income tax expenditure distribution changes at the end of 2027, which includes an elimination of the property tax relief for replacement credit. This changes how local government is funded. So this year's budget, next year's budget are the foundation pieces of implementation of these things. And again, these are ideas I'm sharing with you. And I expect that every councilman will take ownership of the process, be a part of it. And by no means am I trying to shove any ideas down anyone's throat, but it's more meant to get the process started. Let's focus on some key fundamentals. So the projected revenue loss by 2028 is 30 million, by 2030 is 50 million. That's property tax levy. The elimination of PTRC is December 31st, 2027. The PTRC at 1% of lit is equivalent in 2024 to $163,168,146. Total lit, which is the 1.5%, is $652,219, 245 million, I should say. There'll be changes in the business personal property tax structure, likely leading to an elimination. There'll be expiration of current lit expenditure rate, which is what I'm talking about, or how we have been forced by state law to distribute lit in certain fashions, 1% to reduce property tax relief, 0.5 divided in half to public safety and economic development. And then the annual adoption of lit rates begins in the budget year 2031, be adopted in 2030. So that's when every year we have to, as part of our budget, adopt an income tax. That includes municipalities as well.
We don't have to adopt an income tax. We can decide whether we want to adopt.
We would have to consider it, yes.
Yes.
So the budget years 26 and 27, I've outlined begin detailed examination of all revenue sources and enabling statutes. Our attorney, Shauna, I think she disappeared, didn't want to stay for all the excitement, but she started this process already, and in reviewing some of that analysis, there is some opportunity within various income sources for us to move expenses that are currently on the general fund over to these various sources of revenue. That again helps to reduce levy dependency. Determine which general fund expenditures can be shifted, and then set 2025 approved budgets as a baseline for 2026. Any raises and or reorganizations will need to be offset by cuts. This year is an important year to set some new budget fundamentals that will help to guide us through these next 3 years of implementation. Identify opportunities to reorganize, reduce staffing budgets in all departments as full implementation of the Oracle system comes online. Staffing needs should be met based on skills for specific functions of government. This is the first step in modernizing our business model to meet the needs of each constitutional office. So one of the difficult changes that needs to be made in every level of government is when you modernize, you need to look at specific skill sets, as Dan presented on behalf of the auditor's office and the commissioners, with the new position created for IT focus and Oracle implementation. These are really important things in every office to have people with skill sets that enhance the value and lower the cost of government. Change the first Tuesday in September into budget building day in place of the presentation. Department heads will attend if requesting an increase over 2025. That's Indiana Code 36-P-5-11. We have typically used that as kind of a what I'll call dog and pony show, where every department head comes in, we make a presentation and we just vote yes on it. And going forward, we're really going to have to participate in the budget building process in that day. And I know it's been tradition here in Lake County for years to do that, but Indiana Code allows us to not have to do that presentation, and we can do the budget building.
Yeah, just let me clarify. It's just a budget hearing, so we don't vote. We don't take any votes that day. In fact, we don't have to even debate their budget that day. We just listen to you.
One of the advantages of the day, I do agree with you, it's very laborious and it drags out. But, you know, it usually makes for a nice lunch. Outside of that, it is nice, it is nice to have everybody in there. And it's nice for me not serving on some of the committees that see that presentation. We don't really address the questions on that, but to get maybe a little insight, because not all of us, so I mean, I can see part of it, but it is very laborious and some of it is a waste of time, especially for it. I think sometimes, Raina, I felt that we gave that opportunity so folks like Mr. Brown and other department heads can at least say that they put up the good fight to us, to their employees. So it's like they did ask for it, they did come in front of us, so it's not, you know, a token gesture.
And again, these are just ideas.
Yeah.
Everybody's free to agree, disagree, whatever. I did this work as a way just to kind of start this dialogue. Let's get this process moving. Identify duties within departments where contractors and employees are performing the same or similar duties. Wherever there's duplication, that duplication needs to be eliminated. Review all positions being paid supplemental pay from the general fund and miscellaneous funds. And move positions off the general fund wherever possible and eliminate supplemental pay. So what that means is we have certain revenue sources that pay certain people in county at least part of their salary. And if it can pay part of their salary, why can't it pay all of it? Review professional service budget line items for the purpose of identification and elimination of unnecessary duplication and eliminating the "we've always done it that way" excuse. Item 3 is budget year 28. This is implementation year where we have to have all this work done. In line with the elimination of PTRC, we will no longer need, so therefore eliminate 1% of the local income tax used to provide the expiring credit. Currently, we live at 1.5%. That's a typo. Identify allocation of lit public safety funds to be distributed to townships for purpose of EMS fire protection. So once the PTRC rolls off, any lit that we collect will be used for general purposes of government. That's in the new law. So we can use it for whatever we basically want. And right now, a portion of it does go to townships for provision of fire and EMS services, which the county does not provide. My proposal would be is we continue to carve out a portion of lit for that purpose, because without it, townships may not be able to support the fire and EMS services for residents in unincorporated Lake County. Adopt lit based on government needs. Really simple. Christine brought that up, that we need to consider on a yearly basis starting in 2030 whether or not lit is needed. As it's currently structured with a $50 million levy loss, if we cut 1% of the local income tax and we keep the 5%, that gives us about in the neighborhood of $80 million based on today's current collections. So looking at the numbers, we have more than enough, even cutting 1% of the lit after 2027 to fund this government and to move it forward in a productive fashion. And the more work that we do to reduce dependency on the levy, because I suspect that over the next decade, we're going to continue to see the system of funding of local government move away from property tax levies and move more towards user fees, income taxes, sales taxes, and the like. So this is a great start for us to move in that direction.
Pathetic. It's just pathetic.
So while I don't agree with and I wrote my statement here that while I campaigned in 3 counties last year in a congressional run, I could count on one hand the number of conversations I had about property taxes. The narrative that local government is somehow hoarding cash and ripping off taxpayers is simply false. I read press releases of new departments of government and agencies created in state government seemingly every week. Nonetheless, we were presented with a tax reform package that creates multiple challenges for local government. In every challenge, there are also opportunities, and we need to meet this challenge with focus and figure out how to reform and reshape and restructure this county government. So that is the presentation for that. I have one more item, Madam Chair, if I can have 5 more minutes.
Okay.
You pass these down?
Let's take one.
I have, yes. So I have
What we did on that?
last meeting.
This one says,
Um,
oh, okay.
relating to some things I was concerned about in our elections and registration office. There's a letter in your packet that describes it, so I'll just read that letter. That kind of goes through, and the folder is meant to show that I've illustrated where these things have happened with evidence and proof. At the meeting in Lake County.
I could just, this is just your comments, you're not, are you asking for?
Not asking for any vote.
Oh, okay, I just want to know about that, so.
Reporting on something.
That's fine, that's fine. I just didn't know if I needed a motion to ask. Okay.
I made a statement at the end of the meeting alleging that there has been misuse of government employees and possible payroll issues occurring in the elections and voter registration office. Upon further investigation, it's my determination that there have been multiple violations of county policy, ethical government practices, and possibly law. On February 28, 2025, I was made aware that several Democrat employees of the election and voter registration office were actively participating in the setup of the Democrat Party organizational caucus to be held in the commissioner's courtroom the following day, March 1st, 2025. I immediately placed a call to the chairman-elect of the Democrat Party, Mike Repay. I was informed that the party would reimburse the county for the time of the government employees. That did not happen. Through examination of payroll records and security video footage, it is clear to me that none of the employees were on vacation nor compensatory time while performing political duties. This behavior is a tradition in Lake County that has landed people in legal trouble in the past. It is also against internal HR policies of the county. You'll see in your folder, we have highlighted those policies that back up that claim. On May 6th, 2025, there was an election conducted in 2 school districts. When there were elections in Lake County, the party majority, the Democrats, appoints election inspectors, judges, and clerks. Minority party Republicans appoint judges and clerks only. For each election, worker training is required under state statute and under locally adopted procedures. Election inspectors are required by statute to attend training. Their record of attendance is maintained by the election office. The election board does have discretion to waive the training requirement if certain circumstances arise. No vote of the board was taken to waive this requirement. See Indiana Code 3-6-6-40. Within county policies, it is written that the inspectors are to be paid $210 base and $30. Following the May election, it was brought to my attention that several inspectors who did not attend the training were paid the full $240, although it was clearly written in policy that they were not eligible. In an abundance of due diligence, I went back through the records from 2024. I found that this is not an isolated incident. This practice of paying people for services not rendered occurred in 2024 as well. This is clearly a systemic issue that must be addressed. The good people of Lake County deserve a government that conducts itself with integrity in all aspects. As a lifelong resident of Lake County, I'm tired of being the punchline to a joke about bad government in Indiana. I have always believed that this county, full of diversity of people and industry, is the best county in the state. Large sums of money were not involved in these cases. Unethical and potentially illegal behavior was. The old political machine had its day. That day must come to an end for the good of all citizens of Lake County. And in that folder, you will find the supporting documents that back up my claim, I believe. So again, this was just for reporting purposes. If given the time, I will also be appointing this or reporting this to the election board next Tuesday. I think that at the end of the day, the thing I really enjoy doing in government is the budgetary work. I love that stuff, the nuts and bolts of government. The things I dislike about government is when I have to report on things like this. The goal in this is to not see people all the way out of this building. The goal is to make sure that we are following our own rules and laws, that we hold ourselves to a high ethical standard, and that the execution of the services to the public are done so in a lawful manner, and that we don't blend the political with service. Government goes awry when government becomes a political organization rather than a service business. So that's what I want us to refocus on. I want to see this sort of behavior stopped. I want to see people do the right things because they're the right things to do. So thank you, Madam Chair, for the time.
Anyone else have any comments or anything before?
Madam Chair, I guess just one comment. I couldn't agree more. I think everybody on the planet agrees. Michelle, I'd just like to know, I mean, I don't know what the end result, what are we looking for on this? Do we want to fire everybody? We go down there, find the people that arbitrarily went on their own to this party. Our chairman needs to be made aware that, you know what, you can't have these things and do this. Everybody needs to be brought to light. Everybody should know this. But the bottom line is, does everybody involved need to be terminated because they violated? So do we fire everybody and start over? Is that going to stop this? Is that where it needs to start or stop? What is the end result of this? Another slap on the wrist? Or do you come in there with some teeth and say, you know what, this is not tolerated, you're gone? I just need to know. My other part of that, I have two parts if I could please. My other part of Michelle is I want to make sure that everybody that was aware of that how many people were setting this up, how many hours are we talking? And it sounds like there was a promise made that there was a reimbursement for the assistance, or just like anyone else that has access to the hall, if we set it up, there's a fee that goes. Any community center you go to, if they set it up or tear it down to like a $50 service fee. Is there a reason they don't do it? And I wish Commissioner Lee, who's also in the title of chairman, was here with me, because that's really who should speak on this and say why and what's going on. So that's what I'm being told. I know some of this came from the guy running for sheriff. I'm not going to mention his name, but when I seen his propaganda paperwork, it got mailed out to everyone. There was no disclaimer on that. None. What? And no disclaimer saying that it came from the CTE or boosters or whatever. And that's a direct violation. So they're out there circulating. So I mean, it needs to be policed up here, as you know, all the way across.
Yeah, and it's not just if I can answer and find the have Michelle take the floor. People be fired. I've been running for elections since 2008 and have always found the election staff to be very helpful and good people. And I think a lot of times employees just do what they're asked to do, right? So I'm not blaming individuals. You notice in my statement, I didn't mention names of any election employees because I'm not looking to isolate individuals. I'm looking to isolate behavior and make sure that this stuff gets corrected. And you're right, if there was propaganda sent by a Republican candidate without a CTE on it, that should be addressed by the election board as a violation of campaign.
And I received one as well.
It should be.
I received one from a fellow that's running for sheriff or something.
Yeah, those are things that if there is no disclaimer, it violates the law, that should be addressed. That should be addressed.
Exactly, this individual was sent to the Hammond City Council asking for a resolution to be adopted to support Randy Niemeyer in this cause.
I was never aware of any of that.
So I have a question. Is there any like internal controls within the department where when money's paid out like that both the Republican director and the Democrat director sign off on? Maybe that will, I mean, that shouldn't be. I don't know what occurred exactly, but I'm just saying, is there any controls like that, or?
I can't answer
Michelle, can you answer that?
So first, this is the first time I've seen this. I've heard it, but he has this allegation. This is very political in nature. And that instead of coming to us with the allegations, it's just been out here. But and also, as I looked at these pictures, not for a tit for a tat, one thing also about taxes for the position I see is cited. The county requests voting machines through a public request firm. We requested voting machines through that program as we've done since 1990. And they ratified that we have to do voting machines to state that voting machines there's a certain but are set up to the side for use by whomever. Local units come and machines in the program. Schools come and use them for educational purposes for theirs. In this case, the political party requested voting machines through the proper procedures of the commissioners, and that was approved. Therefore, we can program those county employees because average Joe citizen cannot come off the street and program a voting machine. That is done for whatever organization who requests those. That is a policy that has been in place since 1990 and getting ratified. In regards to other employees doing stuff, we did not use, as you your secretary, the rules, as well as left it in no sign sheets. There was nothing to set up as the voting machines did not even get out until Saturday. The county political party paid individuals to come in and run those voting machines on Saturday. And the staff that was there on Saturday assisting with sign-in did so on their own time. They did not request pay, they did not receive pay. Tables and chairs were also requested through the proper procedures of asking the county commissioners for those, at which time the county maintenance team set those up on the side, dropped them off down there. We could not set it in advance because they blocked the prosecutor's office and the clerk's office. And so staff was going around to make sure that that stuff was delivered, because at 3 o'clock, I believe the maintenance team leaves. After that, we have no access to those documents. So if you see people coming and going, they could be going downstairs and getting those items, making sure that they were wrapping in work time, leaving the office. I see pictures of Joel, maybe he went to council. I just find this very interesting that this is all coming out up here instead of coming to us and asking the question. So there are reasons to what is being done. We also let people come to the office and borrow signs that say register to vote. We also let them borrow pens and ballot boxes. As the Republican Party did with borrowing the ballot box for your election. We choose to do yours old-fashioned on paper. We choose to do ours electronically. And again, that is something that has been done since 1990. This is not new. Employees were not doing anything political, as we did not have anything to do. Because again, voting machines were not delivered down there until Sunday. We could not set up tables till Saturday. We did not have any sign-in sheets for Saturday. We mostly would have the county also allows me to handicap signs because the first row of seats down there does not have handicapped. We would put up our own handicap signs that we also use for training sessions when inspectors come. And so all those issues, all those matters have an answer to them, but instead of coming and asking us, it's the political show up here, where we would and so that's what this really is.
This is typical.
And then in regards to there's we can get into that. The
Absolutely.
inspectors, people who are early voting, which we have 11 sites out there for them. We also have early voting workers who serve for a time. They go through 1 week of training. A lot of those workers also work for polls on election day. They have been exempted from coming due to the fact that they already attended training for a week's time. They've been doing this for a month. At that time, training sessions, we increased them in 2015 to sit there and say we had 7 p.m. ready. So, voting workers, Thursday night, working till 7 p.m. They can't come to our training session.
Yeah, would you say that fall into that category of not needing to, but they are the better?
So put some of the system. Absolutely, we have a system in place that was called Connect. And if you, if it's the Republican Party came to our meetings with flags and so forth, voting with that company was sending our information over to China and Service, which was 100% false. The gentleman in his suit in Los Angeles, but in the meantime, we lost that system because our verified we didn't want to deal with it. So yes, the system was in place that would have trapped all these people. They could be trained around, they would answer questions. Payroll would be right there. Right now, we got correct. We need to tell co-workers with their checks immediately. We trust the judges and clerks at their word to sit there and tell us if they did the training, because their training can be done online. We're taking them at their word. Every single inspector picks up their word, they sign and they deliver it. So if it was on the playground, a main thing for our elections is you treat everybody the same exact. So if I trusted you as a judge to sit there and say you attended, Mr. Ham says, yes, I attended as inspector, we're going to sit there and follow that. But we do cross-reference. But again, there are many people. In fact, he had 2 of his Republican judges who did not come, but serve as early voting workers. And yes, we paid them. After working for a month's time, I think you know what you're doing. And in fact, on a couple of them, we did cross-reference, we looked at their paperwork, and on almost every one of them, we are not perfect.
Michelle, I agree with you wholeheartedly, and I'd like to address it through our attorney. Do we need to amend, or do we need to create an ordinance that says that when the personnel fall in that category where they've had this much OJT work involved in it, that they qualify for it? Can you do that to make that policy okay? Says when you throw words like corruption and all these things, that sounds like something so evil and terrible happened in that voter registration, that this is the most, craziest thing that could ever happen to mankind. And it's happening right here in voter registration at every election, every day,
That means the people who to our members and see if they can do it. Absolutely. I don't think waste of this.
So many times you've done it, you complete it, there's been no changes. No different than a teacher with continuing education to maintain their teaching license. Once you get your license, because once you're there is realize how hard it is. You can sit back and complain all you want about what happens at the polling places. Be a precinct committee person. Try to get someone to come there and work 12 hours that day for nothing. You think that's big money? It's hard. It's hard work. And the person that's there, the inspector or the chair, I bought the good parties. I bought coffee, donuts, pizza, fed them because the money there is peanuts. It's no good.
People that work till 16. They're working 12 hours. You have to be at least an hour. It's coming to the grad admin 2 hours, which you couldn't do. That's just for 2 hours. You don't need supplies on the hour. But
in this
2 hours to complete up those supplies. There's a lot of time and effort involved. Through all the training materials for the last 2 elections, sent out the numbers to them saying, these are things that we missed, and then we appreciate you, but here's a few things that get missed along the lines. Whereas, well, to be honest, I really looking at another system similar to one we had for Connect. We would very soon to see if they improve it. And I was hoping this bill would then approve the content and approve the family bill, because those witnesses in the back in place that you have at one time. And so a lot of Republicans continue flags and their stuff was put on these servers, which it was not, because we have women at that time. So again, false accusations cost that company the business. Again, it's accusations that could, the gentleman would come to our office and sit down and say, hey, I'm seeing this, I'm hearing this, what's going on? And every single time someone's walking out of the bathroom or walking out of the office, you know, the timestamps on it, does it know to rather use something close? The side pages, yes, those items were tested every time for use to use it on the voting machines. So instead of having the machines up there, put the machine on the table and did the wraparound. Didn't cost the county anything, and it is done through proper procedures, as I can show in the process that was done by the commissioners from the county chairman to the county commissioners, and there are signatures on there authorizing these uses. From 9 bills used for schools, special elections, pretty much anyone who wants to use it, where to come and ask for them, we want them to be for educational purposes, and for public education, and for a chairman.
That's a pretty good explanation on why Chairman Repay said, well, there's nothing to reimburse.
For the mechanics who came in that are not working for us right now, he did pay them. I'm sure we could probably get a copy of that check, but he paid those individuals to come in and run the voting machines on Saturday. He's not reimbursing the county because they were on Saturday. And they are paid for part-time mechanics, and with that every time it was on Saturday, did some of the free will, did not ask for any reimbursement. So again, nothing was set up on Friday at the voting machines. Yes, did they get multiple pieces out? Yes, because the doors are locked, and certain things are not locked and key. As those signs are without, and we'll show that. I can't get in on Saturday. We're probably present, which is 2 cans to go there. How else was we should help there on Friday? There's legitimate explanations, but instead, again, we're going to do the political show, which is what this really is.
So is this information being presented to you?
Just got a copy of this, handed to me right now. I need this information. Again, it's going on fair. I'm not to that to me earlier. or to have a discussion. Instead, we'll go to Jessica and go around and for a request for all this information, which if you would have asked, and she would have been able to go back and forth to the offices, we would have been fine. We could have solved this very easy, but instead, that wouldn't have been for the media.
Well, you got a letter, right? When Colin gave you the letter from.
I just received right around the press.
This
Sure, I'm not sure that I'm sure that it was just hired.
The sheriff's candidate.
Yeah. The election board does a really good job. Trained, they do a fabulous job. But again, this is all of this, a lot of this is for sure.
All right, anything else?
Yeah, this is not for show. Using government workers is different than a rental agreement or some type of agreement for equipment. These are two different things. The equipment that was used at the Republican caucus was not brought out of the election offices. I believe it was you, Jessica, that took that equipment that was agreed upon for us to use, but that was done after the office had closed and our caucus was off-site on Saturday. And the pictures in this packet show that on the 27th and 28th, there was equipment being moved for the purposes of a political caucus by government workers on government time. That's all this is, not political show. I don't know what signs were held up by people in different parts of the country. I don't care about that. This is just about, let's follow the county procedures. That's it. That's all I'm asking.
So things are maintained in a ballot room as those little wraparounds. Voting machines are kept under double lock and key. Those again are not things that I figured out on Saturday. Otherwise, I'd really be breaking the law by trying to get into a room that is locked by two keys. And I would never expect the Republicans to come in on Saturday to open the door. And it's those materials out. Basically, they're done. And that took, if you look at the timestamps on there, he walked in, he got the little circular things out. What does that take? 1 minute? 2 minutes?
And if one of the Republican candidates for an office is illegally circulating material, I suspect the election board will address that by law, and I expect that, and people should be doing that. But this was not just 1 or 2 minutes. I made the call on the day to Commissioner Repay to ask what was going on. It wasn't coming here first. I came to Commissioner Repay on the day as soon as I found out that this was happening, and it was blown off completely. So I just waited to see how payroll was processed, to see all of that stuff that came through, and then I put this together because there was just no interest in addressing this. So those accusations against me are false that I somehow am doing a political show. No, I patiently waited for information to come in. The information that came in was not satisfactory to county policy.
As the director for something?
No, I brought them here because there was no interest by the Democrat Party to address this. And I had addressed it with the chairman, who is my counterpart. And I talked to Mike that day. We had a good conversation, and I wanted to see how it played out. And it didn't play out the way that it was said it would.
And he was not chairman at the time, but a discussion with him, he was not probably privy to how things happened.
That's true too. He said, this is how we always do it.
We always go on our machine, yes. And let you talk with me on
Friday during government Congress. I just left all of that.
Yeah. I've said what we have been done.
All right, any further business on the council?
Does our attorney have anything, in any way involve the county council?
And the financial aspect of it, yes, we appropriate the money for this. From the standpoint, the employees are employees of Lake County, which means they're employees of the commissioners. So the commissioners are, we just had this discussion about another employee, an elected official, who statute would say they're employees of Lake County. So that, I mean, I understand the dynamics of that. If you're saying, well, it's one of the three of them is Mike Repay, they're the employers.
How do we resolve this? I mean, does this just languish out there forever? Or is there response that we need to get out. I know this is going to be public with the astute member of the news media.
Well, usually these matters, I believe, are held, usually election complaints are held at the election board. This is more of,
It's a little different.
this is a little like the finance part of it, where folks pay for a service that they shouldn't have been. That's the part that you said you've done this in the past where because of their experience, you still pay them as if they went through the training.
Because they went through training for to time of doing it. And again, by working the voting early, times we do the sessions, they're not able to attend.
That policy there's no policy that states that.
I will take the resolution that he was given, I will take it to the board and see if they would like to do a resolution or an ordinance of any kind to sit there to put that in writing. We started I'd have to go back and see what year we started the 7 p.m. voting, and see if, and put them in writing. I'd give it to the board and ask them to do that.
You said there was a form that commissioners sign off for the machines when they need to go to the school. Okay, can you provide that form?
I can provide you with one that I have seen passed. It's usually just the approval. They're requesting out of the folder about this thick, going all the way back to probably 1990. Could a few of them be missed out? Yes. But like as an example, Hubbard High School used those for their student elections for the homecoming queen and king. It's a great experience because the students are learning how to use the voting machines. We're doing their own campaign. It's a lifelong experience on using those voting machines. So when they do come to teenage age, they're not intimidated by it. We've gone into elementary schools, and some people challenge us on why we've been into elementary schools. Those students aren't voting for quite a long time. It's the point of when you're there and teaching the kids how to use it, so they're able to hopefully go home, have a discussion with their parents who has never voted before and say, guess what, man, I got to use the voting machine today.
Yeah,
I want for president, I voted on it.
I think we all understand that we've used these machines for training, training precinct people, training, school students and that. And I think it's more of the policy that we need to make either amendment to the policy just to make sure that the procedures and policies are.
Now, what happened to
Councilman Bldg, what do you have to say?
With all that said, it goes a little deeper than that. There's been some serious accusations of not only moral malfeasance, but fiscal malfeasance. And I think, and I would turn to Tom and I see we have the prosecutor. Maybe we needed it. If it's going to solve this problem, maybe the prosecutor looks at this, does a complete investigation and a report and says, okay, there was either this wrong or you should have, and then corrects it. We should be out of this and someone that has the authority to investigate this. If it is that much malfeasance going on, it's that terrible of a thing going on where no one's addressing the girl in the room. We need to go to the prosecutor and have them do a detailed investigation. And I'm asking if that's a way to solve this, and would the prosecutor be willing to do something like that so we can just say, okay, either this is wrong, it's corrected, and this is what's been done, or hey, it's a wash by an independent group. And I think that would, in my opinion, be probably one of the ways for us to step back, have an independent review of it, and then present it to us whether or not what changes would be recommended or what went wrong.
Madam Chair.
Yes, Councilman Mulder.
The director is correct that there is discretion under Indiana Code for the election board to adopt a policy that will a waiver of training given certain circumstances. Circumstances are outlined in law. One of those circumstances is if a person has experience, they've already done it. That's a circumstance where you can waive it, but the board has to take the action. So this is something that needs to go in front of the election board, I think, from a policy standpoint. But you'll see in the packet, it has nothing to do with the use of county property. That I've looked at those, the rental agreements, that's all fine. The use of the courtroom, the election equipment, that is customary. There are written documents for that, but it's the use of personnel during work hours. That's my whole presentation. It has nothing to do with any other election accusations. I'm not accusing anyone of necessarily breaking law. I don't know the law. I'm not a lawyer. I know the statutes. I can read the statutes. All I want is for this stuff to get in front of the right people so that policy corrections can be made And we can have faith that this stuff won't happen again. That's all.
Since you've done so much investigation, do you have a dollar amount that's associated with this?
A dollar amount of how many people?
If you are alleging either through the poll workers or, is there a dollar amount?
And the records only go back to 2023 that I could find. So I've got 25 and the general and primary in 24, but I could have a dollar amount prepared for the election board meeting.
Are you mean for the county employees that were allegedly working the party election, or?
Are you talking about the election?
You threw out two different allegations. I was just asking if there's a fee or a dollar amount that you are stating that.
No, I'm saying that, like with the, are you talking about the poll workers or the election officers?
Either one.
Office workers, that can be documented based on the cameras in the election office of how long they've gone.
Again, we're making an assumption out of the office, they're getting political.
When they carry equipment out that's election equipment, where else are they going with it?
They may drop off stuff down at the garage and drop off and take a rolling cart down there. It's just interesting that this supposedly happened in March, and then we're just hearing about this when could have maybe done more investigation. We can.
Not just hearing about it now, it was brought to Mr. Repay's attention when it happened. So I don't know what to say about that.
But it sounds like this issue should be before the election board, who has the authority over this.
I don't disagree, Charlie, but this is the only stage that I have where I can present things like this. I can't guarantee that I can be put on the agenda of the election board. Because this isn't an election complaint. This is a internal county policy complaint. Right, so I don't have any standing at the election board to necessarily place myself on an agenda for a complaint that's not necessarily elections related. It's administrative related. So that's why I brought it here, was I just wanted to report on this. And hopefully if the election board is interested, I'm fine to talk with them about all this. I'm happy to have disagreements too. I'd like to see just come to some resolution. That's all. Not looking for anybody to be fired or anything like that. Let's just correct it.
And Chairman,
Yes.
just briefly, the county council does have investigative authority.
Yes, we do.
So it could issue subpoenas. There would have to be a majority of the council that votes yes and moving forward with that.
And again, this is not a hearing. This is me reporting on something. So
Correct.
this has nothing to do with a subpoena or investigative powers. It's me as an elected official doing my due diligence. That's all.
Yeah, but this becomes public. In fact, with these computers now, it probably is out there already. That still besmirches a couple of elected offices and bodies. This needs to be resolved in terms of who can investigate, who can determine whether there was some wrongdoing.
Myself as a private citizen and an elected official, and if I see if something's brought to me, I do have the ability to look into this stuff, and I did. It has nothing to do with creating any sort of means for prosecution of any sort, Charlie. It's simply I reported to you all, my colleagues, what I see as violations of policy. And again, there may be disagreements. I don't know how to be resolved. The matter of course, for me was we got to report this, we got to get this fixed, and we got to move on. And I'm hoping that the election board takes this up from a policy standpoint as it relates to the training. And I hope that the practice of using government employees during government time for any sort of purposes that aren't related to government work
Is that a fact?
is continued.
Is that a fact that government employees?
Look at the pictures for the screenshots, Charlie. They're not doing election work, they're doing party work. They're carrying equipment for the party. Not the taxpayers.
Well, this could go on tit for tat.
Yeah. Again, I'm happy if the director and the board would give me time at the upcoming Board of Elections meeting, I'd be happy to have this dialogue with them as well.
I'm in favor of turning it over to the full investigation. I think you put it to the board, and then I would say the prosecutor look at it, and if there's merit to pursue, then let them make the determination. They have the investigative skills to do it. I don't.
Agreed.
Okay, we're now going to open it up for public comment.
Thank you, Ms.
Not necessarily on this issue. I mean, public comment.
We just spent a half hour longer talking about this and now it just poof.
Well, we don't have, okay, do you want to make a motion to investigate? What would you like to do?
Well, I thought Tom said we had.
We have investigative powers, we do. It seems like that's
Consensus of the council.
yeah, it does, it looks like Mr. Councilman Niemeyer wasn't looking for that at this time. He just wanted to bring to attention, he's reporting on what he has found.
If I could, that's what.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they meet a week from today, Charlie, the Board of Elections. And like I say, I'm hopeful that they consider some policy changes so we clear up this training snafu.
And I agree with that, but to ensure the public that there is no malfeasance, I think an independent group should complete a complete investigation, and we can say here, this is a clean slate, and there'll be a cost that comes with that. But it should be done. I was just sitting there thinking, and not lighthearted, but every community does shit like that. Whether it's Colbert, Lake Station, go to the fire station, they go right now and get chairs and a table. I had paid for them, taxpayers of Colbert, Maryville, always could get it. You used to be able to get your swimming pool filled up. They got in the truck.
Right. And I'm glad one of these are over, but like I said, this is, you notice in my reports, the written report that I didn't mention any election worker's name or even the director's name. I'm not interested in attacking people. I want to see from a policy standpoint, things cleaned up. That's all.
Madam Chair.
Yes, Councilman Brewer.
Support Councilman Nehemiah in his effort, and I think the proper step that he should take it to the election board and see if he can get some resolve. If he does not get some resolve at the next council meeting, I will support the investigation. But I think that should be the first start. When we start there first.
And if I'm allowed on the agenda to address it, I will.
Yes.
Yes.
All right.
We've had to do that, Rain, before you were up here, form a committee and do a complete investigation on things, and it's happened with other council members' issues. We had a elected official, no call, no show. We had a lot of different
we did.
scenarios. We
did.
I appreciate the floor. I'm sorry that it drug out so long, but no, that's why we're here for the opportunity. And I appreciate the debate too. I don't mind the disagreement. We can disagree on things. It's fine. Absolutely. Thank you.
No, thank you.
Anything further?
Yes, public comment.
Yes, please state your name and for the record, come up to the mic.
Hi, my name is Sheila Majecki. I'm from Sherrville, Indiana. And I just wanted to say how much I appreciate all of you. I've been coming to council meetings, commissioner meetings, board of election meetings for several years now. And I just want to reiterate something I said last board of election meetings. We are very unstoppable when we work together. I love it when we work together. I love it when things are transparent. I love it when I see people working through things. What I don't love is when we sling things at each other like political theater and things like that in a nonpartisan environment. It doesn't work for us. It doesn't work well. When you take a bunch of older women that looked into the Connect incident, and what we found was Michelle Feynman on radio saying she's already sent all our information to China. She's already done all the paperwork. I didn't say that, but that's what it was. That's what started us going, what's going on here? So it was never, ever, it was election integrity. It was never a Republican or a Democrat thing. It's let's do the best for our people, for people in our community. Everyone in our world noticed worldwide that things weren't right in the prior 4 years on several levels. There's a distrust for federal government, and they recommended, let's start working locally. Let's see what we can do. And sometimes we find things and sometimes we don't. And I'm very proud to say most of the times in Lake County, we don't, right? It's good. Can we make it better? Absolutely. Can we make it better if we're throwing things like political theater around? No, we cannot. We have to work together. We have to come together. And that's what I want to do. And I want to thank all of you for your hard work, as I thank the election board. And I hope to God they're all there this time for their hard work. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'll say for the record, I believe we have a very good election office. We have not had any incidents of election fraud. We run very good elections here.
And nowhere do I usually one of that.
Right. I didn't say you did. I just yes.
Board member.
Yes. Morning, Mike.
Good morning. Good morning, Councilman. First of all, let me thank you for your commitment that you've had for this county, and I really appreciate everyone that's up here. I appreciate all the input that I've seen today, and I would suggest that we reach out to our chairman of the election board, because I serve on the election board, so we can put you on the agenda. Because one thing, and I totally agree with the president, we're here to serve the community, we're here to serve people, and we're going to do everything in our power. To be fair, you're going to have disagreements. That's okay. We're here to serve the public. And I want to thank this council for your commitment. I've been here for over 30 years, and it's been a great ride. I'm excited about the things that we can get done. We have to work together. And I really appreciate the council's patience in this matter that the councilman brought before, instead of just acting, allowing the board, the election board, an opportunity to see it and try to address the matter. And I promise you, we will be fair. Thank you. God bless you.
Thank you. Thanks, Mike.
Any other public comments? Okay. Motion.
So I just do want to say, in reference to what was said earlier, I did physically see them setting up in the auditorium at one point in the pictures. You can see that I left the office. That was when I went downstairs. I was actually on the phone with Councilman Niemeyer at that point, and I physically saw them working inside the auditorium, setting up different types of equipment. I'm not going to say it was machines, but they were actually working in there at that point. So that's all I wanted to.
On the election stuff, you're saying that they were in there working on party related, not just for the board of elections, but strictly for the party. Then they're wrong.
They were physically setting up equipment and bringing it in there.
Specifically for the party.
I'm going to say they were setting it up. I don't know. They were setting it up for that call.
I'm not trying to group, but you can't. I mean, just because doesn't mean I have to be physically doing something in there to benefit those other people. And if that's the case, they're bad. And head should fall.
I attempted to get the camera feeds from that hallway. Unfortunately, they were destroyed 9 days before I was able to get them. So,
in what capacity were you there, Jessica?
I'm sorry.
Well, why were you there? I mean,
when I was outside of the office for the afternoon because I was taking the CPR training, and when I came back into the office, my staff let me know that they'd been setting up for the caucus during.
Did you say anything to Michelle at the time?
At that time, no, because it was near the end of the day. We only had about 30 minutes left. So I was on the phone with him. He was on with Councilman Niemeyer. He was on the phone with Commissioner Repay. This was all happening at the last 30 minutes of the day. So,
okay.
Good.
All right.
Motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn. So,
Support.
Support.
That's a great question. How many machines out